Welcome to this installment of the Learning Laboratory video series. I am Professor Claudio Piani from the Computer Sciences, Mathematics, and Environmental Science Department. And today I want to talk to you about the environmental impact of the COVID-19 epidemic. And of course, the main impact is due to the quarantine. France is now coming into, I think, its 6th week of quarantine. Italy has been in quarantine for 8 weeks or more. The US is moving into perhaps its 5th week of quarantine. China has been in quarantine for over 2 months, possibly more than that. And one thing that many people have commented on is the environmental impacts of the quarantine period. And today I want to talk about which impacts I think are real and which are just apparent. And the first thing I'm going to start with is, of course, the apparent reduction in urban smog. And that's supported by satellite images across the globe. The first image I'm showing you is a comparison between the total column of nitrous dioxide in January and in February in China. And why are we looking at NO2? The reason why we're looking at NO2 is because NO2, unlike other pollutants, has principally anthropogenic source. It doesn't have any other natural sources. So what you're looking at is only the effect of reduced road traffic. And in fact, images of NO2 support this idea that the COVID quarantine has had a very strong reduction in urban smog, even other places. The second image I'm showing you is an image over Italy, which is showing you a 15-day average from 1919 compared to one in 2019 compared to one in 2020. And you see a net reduction, especially over that dark blob that corresponds with the location of the region of Lombardy, where the pandemic has been particularly fierce. So whereas the reduction of urban smog is supported by data, other effects are less clear or are solely apparent. The third image I'm showing you is an image from a canal in Venice. Now, anyone who's ever been in Venice knows that that kind of water clarity is unprecedented. I've been in Venice many times. I've lived close to Venice for 6 years of my life. The waters are always very muddy. But first of all, let's not confuse water clarity with water quality. So many of the pollutants that degrade water quality, are nitrates, phosphate, or heavy metals, don't necessarily have an effect on water clarity. What you're looking at there is not so much an improvement in water quality, but the fact that there's a strong reduction in boat traffic. And the boat traffic, normally, it's the movement of propellers that lifts this very light lime from the bottom of the canals in Venice. Venice is a lagoon. The bottom is made by very light mud. It's a lime that can be brought up very easily by just a minimum amount of perturbation. And so the decrease of boat traffic is what has made all these particles deposit on the bottom and has produced that exceptional water clarity. And I wonder whether that has ever been what Venice canals looked like even hundreds of years ago, because boat traffic has always been present in the Venice lagoon and the canals. The fourth figure I want to show you is actually quite curious. These are cicadeers that have invaded a town in Japan. And you've probably all heard about the long-tailed macaques, which are a kind of monkey, who have invaded various towns in Thailand. And you've probably also heard about the increased occurrence of sightings of foxes in London. And these are all real things, and they're due to possibly two different causes. One is that these animals depended on humans, on tourists and human activity for their nutrition, and not finding it are now invading towns to look for it. This is the case of the cicadeer and the long-tailed macaques. As far as the sighting of foxes in London, foxes have always been in London, and possibly the decrease of the amount of foot traffic, of human traffic on the roads, have emboldened these creatures to come out and in a more obvious way. I don't think, since foxes probably don't rely on tourists, but more on refuse, so junk dumpsters, it's probably not the lack of food that makes them more visible and makes the sightings more frequent. So there you go. I will conclude my installment there. Stay safe, take care of yourself, and may this pandemic finish quickly for you. Thank you.